Welcome. We've got Sophie Foote joining us today, and she's a money coach focused on helping people actually feel in control of their finances and not just understand them. So in this live Q&A, well, this is a recorded Q&A. So if you're watching this now, this is a recording, and we'll kick things off with Sophie's presentation all about mastering multiple streams of income because this is such an important topic.
Mm.
And like just depending on one stream of income. Like I know we all do property here, but you cannot just depend on that. So we're excited to learn from
Yeah.
Sophie. And if you have any questions
Or
on
also, I was
this,
to say one of the reasons why this topic got brought up so much is because I know like we invest in property and we're all about property, but the one thing that gets you to property is like knowing the basics and understanding just like even just saving money or like what to do it from like a easier barrier to entry. I think I said that right, into investing in the first place. So it kind of there's a gap. Definitely, this is why we contacted Sophie, is because there's such a gap in um, being able to invest and thinking that you need tons and tons of money to be able to do it. And sometimes property can feel like that. But when it comes to investing, it can even be just a pound. It can really be like not much at all. And we want to just close the gap on just starting. So thank you, Sophie, for coming on and
thank
being on
you.
this live Q&A.
Thank you for having me. Hi, everyone. I could cover so much. Like, there's always so much we can talk about when it comes to money, personal finance, investing, saving, debt, all of it. This is one of my newest presentations, and I think it's really important because, as you said, when you're in the world of property, it can be quite feast and famine. The cash flow roller coaster can be insane. I know, I've been on it, I've done it all in my property business. And what I really like to cover now is multiple streams of income because I've just been away for 16 days. Like we took a couple of weeks off to go to Egypt with the kids, and I didn't have to worry about my cash flow. I still had money coming in from lots of different places, and it is easier now than ever to get multiple streams of income. Like I'm going to show you, I'm just going to start talking about it because you'll see. So if you don't know me, this is a bit about me. I'm a scuba diving instructor, I've worked all over the world. I'm a mum. That's me, dirt biking in Cambodia, diving in Mexico. I'm an investor, a business owner. I write for YPN magazine, and I'm a mentor as well. So I help other people with their businesses. So I'll give you a little breakdown of my little what I've been up to so far. So I call age 18 to 32 my adventure years. So I had a gap year in Malaysia when I was 18. I went to Kota Kinabalu in Borneo for 3 months to teach English and realized how good the diving was. So I became a professional dive master, stayed there for a whole year. And that qualification meant that I could get a job anywhere in the world, really. So I then went back to the UK, did my degree and my master's in anthropology, Southeast Asian politics, economics, anthropology, because I love that part of the world. And during the summers and the Christmases, and any time I had off, I'd go and work as a diving instructor. So I had 3 months off every summer. So I got a job in Thailand, running a dive center there. I worked in Vietnam, running a dive center out there. I spent a couple of Christmases in Malaysia, and then I got a job in Fiji for 6 months. Kept coming back to the UK, and I was like, I'm not ready to settle down here. I don't like it. I need beach, I need sun. So I built a business in Indonesia. That was my first business. I learned so much about business there, from sales and marketing to property development, because we built a resort, to staffing and cash flow, all the things. And then after having our kids out there, we moved back to the UK. Then I got a job. And I think that most people who have had their own business that are not very good at being employed. I worked in sales and marketing, and I had a horrible boss. Like, he was chauvinist, sexist, racist. He was all the things. And I was really undervalued and underpaid. Like, I had a sales and marketing job, I had targets, but his targets were insane. And so I kept going to him, being like, we need to switch this up. I'm making amazing sales for you, and I'm not getting paid for them. But he just refused. And I thought, I need a way out of this. I need to start a business again. So I got into property. I did rent to rent HMO, which is really scalable quite quickly because you don't need to own the assets. and we scaled it. Last year we did 1.5 million in revenue, which is just a bit mind-boggling to me, but we managed it. I started mentoring other people a couple of years ago who were like, how have you done this? So I told them step by step how to do it as well. And I've got a group program as well, which just shows people how to do rent-to-rent HMO. And we've literally just sold the business a month ago. So I could talk about business selling as well. It takes a lot of time. It takes time to value it correctly, get it set up for the sale. But I know that when you're in property, you learn different strategies, right? Lots of different strategies. I learned lots of different types of investments as well. And so I'm now set up with my multiple streams of income. This is just a bit about why listen to me. This is all the stuff I've been doing. But definitely come and connect with me. This is my Instagram, Sophie Coach by the Beach. So you're welcome to come and follow me. So today we're going to talk about why it's important to have multiple streams of income, what we can do right now. So I'm going to give you stuff you can take away with and do today, and how we build true wealth. So what I want to help people with is getting 3 income streams, because I think that's easy to do, it's realistic to do. And if your only income source disappeared tomorrow, we want other things to help us to give financial stability and peace. So we're not wiped out, basically. So passive income means you can make money while you sleep. We've all had times when we've traded our time for money, but now we don't want to be doing that anymore. Yes, you can have a day job. Yes, you can have your business, but we want different income streams paying us while we sleep. And what that gives you is it gives you time and space to relax, to make better business decisions from a position of strength. And this is what the wealthy do. So most wealthy, high net worth people have on average 7 streams of income. Some people have even more. So what you need is a strategy. We're not just going to try loads of different side hustles. We're going to get a strategy in place for multiple streams of income. And here are some of them. Like, there are so many. So you can screenshot this page, see what takes your fancy, and just go for it. Okay. So I've got a bit of a framework that I'm going to take you through, which will set you up with 3 different income streams. So let's get straight into it. And what I need to pause and say is that you need a healthy relationship with money first. So if you're in loads of debt, if you've got credit card debt, if you are not financially stable, that's where we need to start with the foundation. So if you are struggling a bit and you want to send me a message, we can talk about this, then we just need you to get to a financially healthy state before we start any of this, which means you either haven't got any debt or you've just got good debt, which you'll probably know about if you're in property, stuff you can leverage really well. We've got a bit of a savings pot of emergency funds, and we want to start investing and doing things like that. So the first income stream is your primary income right now, whether that is your job or your business. This is the foundation upon which we can build extra income streams. So whenever I work with people, we say, right, how can we increase that one to start with today to then feed into the extra income streams? So how can you optimize your current job or business right now? So if you've got a pen and paper in front of you, have a think about it. With a job, you can probably negotiate a pay rise or promotion. When's the last time you actually asked for a pay rise? You're probably due one. So the easiest way to do this is to have a meeting with your boss and say, I want a pay rise. Let's talk about it. Talk about all the things you want me to be able to do to get there. And then we're going to put in another meeting in a quarter, and I'm going to show you all the things I've done. Or we can reverse engineer it, write down all the projects you successfully worked on and say, look, this is the value I'm bringing to your business. Because we don't do it enough, especially as women. With a business, basically, you need to increase your prices or you need to reach a new audience. They're the 2 ways that I work with people to increase and optimize your main income stream. So your action step today, right now, is to think about what you can do. Is it getting the pay rise? Is it increasing your prices? Or is it creating a marketing strategy to reach a new audience to give them your services? So the second part is recurring revenue, which I love. So about 25% of your income can come from digital products and courses. And I know that Ruth and Becky are really good at this too. Anyone can do this, and it is true passive income because you build it once and then you can sell it over and over again. So what you need to do is choose your topic, create a digital product, and sell it, we can automate this all with funnels. For example, I've got a friend who makes the most amazing cakes. For anyone's birthday, she did one for my 40th birthday. For her kids, they're big football fans. She can make a cake out of anything. And I was like, you need to sell this knowledge to all us mums who are trying to make cakes and we're terrible. So she could do a £99 digital course. She could do a cheap digital download or even a little ebook. So think about what you know. What problem could you solve for people? Is it dog training? Is it making an amazing cake? Is it like me with my rent to rent knowledge? That's what I built a program on. So you can build something and there is work involved in building the thing, but once it's built, you can just sell it again and again and again. And I absolutely love this. That's what happened when I was in Egypt. People were buying my stuff, and the people that had signed up to my stuff were still paying for the stuff on a monthly basis. So you create a product, so it could be a digital guide. Like we've got so many things at our fingertips now. Even on our phone, we've got apps that we can build this stuff on. So it could be a digital guide, it could be a video masterclass if you're happy talking on screen. And then you need a sales page with a link that collects people's details, which means we can nurture them and sell to them again. And then you just sell it. You just sell it every day. And this is what I see people not doing. They've got an amazing product, they've got an amazing knowledge and service. They're just not selling it every day. So this can give you a really good recurring income. This is the kind of money you can make from it. So, who here would like an extra grand a month from a digital product that they made ages ago and that they're now able to sell in their link tree or on their socials or in their newsletter? So write down, what could you create that solves a problem for someone that you can sell on repeat? Have a think about it, because we often don't realize what we're an expert in. Like, you don't realize how amazing you are. So have a little brainstorm, talk to your friends and family and say, what am I known for? What would you come to me for advice on? For me, everyone kept talking to me about investing, so I built a product on that. Now, this is a bit I get very excited about. So this is the O, which is optimize investments, and this is index funds. Stay with me, because this is a really easy way to build wealth, but a lot of people shy away from this because they think, oh my God, investing is really risky. So my job is to show you how to invest in the stock market easily with a really diverse way, which means low risk. So we're looking at the stock market, which has averaged a 10% return in the last 100 years. If you look at your current bank savings account, you're looking at an interest return of maybe 1 to 4% a year, which is rubbish, especially with inflation. So the stock market can give you 10% a year. It's really easy to get started. You can automate everything and little work is required. So why do we do this? It's all about compound interest, right? So I've got a little chart for you here. So this shows you, if you start with £1,000 and you add 100 quid every month, we could leave it in a bank account with no interest, or we could stick it in the stock market and make a conservative 8%. So option one, we're going to end up with 7 grand. Option two, we're going to end up with nearly 9 grand. Which would you rather have? It's quite good, isn't it? Let's look at 10 years. After 10 years, you're going to end up with 13 grand if you didn't invest it, or just over £20,000 just because you've invested it in the stock market. You've made 8% a year and it's compounded. Compound interest means you get interest upon your interest upon your interest, which means it's like a snowball. This is why we can make true wealth. And you don't need to worry about, when should I invest? When do I buy stocks? What do I even buy? Because it's not about timing the market and picking when to buy and sell. It's literally about time in the market. The best investors are people that have passed away and just left their money and it just kept growing because they didn't touch it. And it's said that those who stay invested over the long run with a really diverse portfolio will do better than people trying to jump in and out. So if you gave your money to a hedge fund manager whose job it is to pick stocks, they get outperformed by index funds. That's why everyone is in index funds. So what is the stock market? It's a whole load of companies that have decided to sell their shares to the public. So I've got a limited company. You guys might have a limited company. We have private shares. If I gave equity to you, you'd be a private investor. It would still be a private company. But if we put it on the public stock market, it means we're selling shares to the public. That's it. And an index fund is a group of companies. That's all it is. So the most famous and popular index fund in the world is the S&P 500, which is called the Standard and Poor 500, and it tracks the 500 best companies in the US. If one underperforms, they replace it. So you're always going to be invested in the 500 best companies in the US. And this has a historic annual average return of 10.2%. So most people are invested in this one. Another example that you might have heard of is the FTSE 100, which again tracks the UK's top 100 companies. So if you put your money into the FTSE 100, we're not having to choose companies here and there. We just invest in 100 companies straight away. And this has averaged 8.1% in the last 20 years. Now, we know that America is a bit unstable at the moment. So what you can do is you could invest in a global index fund. For example, the Vanguard FTSE Global All Cap Index Fund is a worldwide selection of companies. It did 10% over the last 5 years. It did 19.6% in the last year. So index funds, as I've said before, consistently outperform actively managed funds. So what I want you to not do is give your money to a financial advisor because they're going to take a massive percentage. Like it will be 0.0 something, but over your lifetime, they're going to make thousands of pounds from you. I want to empower you to do it yourself. Stick it in an index fund, leave it there, and you'll do really well. So this is just an example of the S&P 500 since 2013. And as you can see, there have been dips. There have been dips, especially in 2020. It goes up and down, but you can see that if you leave your money in for a long time, it's gone up. And this, you do need to talk about your risk profile. Because if you had 10 grand in your 20s versus having 10 grand in your 50s, what we need to do is take a different risk profile. Because if the person in their 20s put 10 grand in a high risk investment, they've got quite a long time until retirement for it to be quite volatile and settle down. But you don't want to be buying Bitcoin in your 50s because it's so volatile. We just don't know what it's going to do. And by the time you get to retirement, you want a decent pot in there. So the solution is to get a really balanced portfolio, like in the index funds, and reduce the risk as you can get older. And what you can actually do, I use, for example, Vanguard as a platform. You can get a retirement date fund. So tell them how old you are, tell them your age when you're going to retire, and it will reduce the risk of your investments as you reach that age. So it will balance it all out automatically for you. What can you do today? This is exciting. So you can find a platform. So I use Trading 212. I also use Vanguard. There's also Free Trade. I want you to go and look at these and decide which one's the best for you. All of these have zero or very low fees.
Can I
Then
ask
you
a
need,
question
yeah,
about the platforms? Are there any like major advantages to any of them, or is it they're basically all the same?
they're basically all the same. Yeah.
Okay.
It might differ depending on where you live in the world for tax purposes and stuff like that. So everyone needs to do a little bit of research, but most of these are global and they're really good. But it's very simple. Then you open an investing account, and then you can't just put your money in the investing account. It wants to know what you're going to invest in. So do not skip this step. You need to choose what to invest in. And then your money will get to work. And I don't want you to check it every day. I want you to check it every month or every quarter because it will fluctuate, but it should also be growing. So your action step is to go and find out about index funds. You know, there are really exciting index funds, like you can find ethical ones that don't invest in oil, gas, and tobacco and stuff like that. So depending on you and what you want to invest in, just Google it. Get ChatGPT to talk you through index funds until you're feeling comfortable, you're feeling confident. You can ask how they've performed in the last 20, 100 years. This will give you the confidence to invest. So then you can choose your platform and you can open your account. So we've covered optimizing your current income. So that's going to make you more money. We've covered getting a digital product. So you've got recurring revenue coming in. And we've covered index funds to get your wealth compounding. So the next bit is additional wealth building. And this is going back to one of the slides I asked you to screenshot, which is like book, podcast, all the things. because you can pick more income streams. You can do as many as you want. For example, consultancy. So some people come to me and they're like, I want to learn rent to rent HMO quickly, really quickly. I want to start tomorrow. So some of these people will come and do a VIP one-to-one day with me. And that's my consultancy, basically. I'll sit them down for a day. We'll do their framework in a day for their business. That's an income stream. Writing a book could be another income stream. Property investment, just talk to Ruth and Becky about it. Affiliate marketing. There's so many ways you can add income streams to you and your business. So have a little brainstorm and think about which one excites you the most. Is it getting together with someone for a day? Like I sometimes do a one-to-one spa day. I just put it out there on my socials. Who wants to come and talk about rent to rent and investing? And like 3 people booked a spa day with me. And I was like, this is probably the best idea I've ever had. I get to do a spa day and help someone with their business. So what excites you? Have you always wanted to write a book? Think about what excites you and go and do it. The last 2 parts of this framework are to do with your mindset, because there might be people out there with a fixed mindset who are like, I don't think that can be done. I don't think I'm going to be very good at it. I've got limited skills and opportunities. This leads to a fear of failure and avoidance of challenges. And it means you're not going to do any of this. You're going to stay where you feel comfortable and safe. Having a growth mindset means that you can learn. I bet most people in your community have a growth mindset because they're here. But it means that you can be improving, you can be developing yourself, you can be learning. This makes it so much easier for you to get streams of income. And I think it comes from overcoming challenges, right? Think of all the challenges you've ever overcome. You are here today and you're an amazing human. And think about what you've learned from it. My big one is the wildfire I dealt with in Indonesia, because I had a resort out there. The wildfire came, everyone was out diving on the boat, and I was there with my baby and my cook and my compressor guy, and I had to just deal with it. And it was one of the worst and best days of my life because I'd problem solved everything up to that point. Like building a resort is hard, but we'd managed it on this remote island. And then this fire came, and I was just like, don't know, don't know, don't know, don't know, panic, panic, panic. But I just called everyone I knew. I reached out to the community that we'd been, training, and we'd set up an NGO and we'd taught English and we'd employed people. So we'd built really good relationships. And within 20 minutes, I had like 30 or 40 people coming to help me, which was just the best. But since then, if a tenant has slow Wi-Fi, or if I'm late for the school run or something, do you know what? I'm like, let's have some perspective. I overcame that. I can deal with anything. So I want you to always think about all the amazing things you've done and you've overcome, because it's about resilience, bouncing back from challenges, and keeping going when things are hard. And there are things you can do to help with positive mindset, like gratitude, like journaling, like visualizations. So write down what positive mindset practice you can do daily for the next month. Sometimes it seems a bit woo, but it really is a neurological thing that the more you can write down, the more you can visualize, keeping a praise journal of nice things people have said to you or about you or things you've done well that day. It really helps. And the last part is health, mental health, financial health, because probably a lot of people here have experienced burnout. So we need to not work all the time. We need to have rest. We need to have white space to help us be more creative. And there are going to be financial pressures, workloads. I met a girl yesterday at a business event who said, my fitness coach is over there, and we joke because I never do what she tells me to do because I'm a mum and I have a business, and she's basically a single mum and she's the bottom of the pile. And she's like, I don't have time to go and do the stuff. I don't have time to make myself a priority, which is really sad because you are a cog in the middle of your life. So when you're good, everything's good, right? And when you're not at your best, it affects every part of your life. So we need to look after ourselves. You need to have that rest. You need to come for a spa day with me. You need to just do more things that fill you up, right? And have a support system. So being part of this community is the most amazing thing. Reach out for support when you need it. Have self-care. And what I really want you to do is just block time out in your diary to do something for you. So I sing every week with my choir. I book in a date with my husband every week. I do beach walks most days with my dog. And I don't feel guilty about that anymore. We also need to think about our financial health. So I've got a weekly cash flow sheet that I can share with you all, which helped me sleep at night, literally in the first year of my business as I was building it. The cash flow is up and down because you have to invest to keep your business going, right? So if you don't know what's coming in and out every day in your business, it's going to be very confusing. So my top tips in your business are have this weekly cash flow sheet, which I'm happy to share with everyone, and do your profit and loss report every single month, and that will keep you on track. So these are all the things I've covered. So hopefully you can walk away with three sets of income, thinking about how you can build true wealth in the future, and also keeping yourself happy in the meantime. So that's everything we covered. So if we just reflect on this, which income stream would you like to add to your business when there were no barriers? Which one lights you up and excites you? Because this is the one I want you to start doing first. Whether it's the book, the consultancy, the index funds, like which one are you excited about? Please do it. And please message me when you've done it because I'll be very, very excited about that. This is what I'm building a program for, which I've got a wait list for. So if you want to do some learning with me, you can. And I've also got an investing club, which is 20 quid a month. You get a masterclass about index funds, and then I show you how my investments have done every month, and what I think the market's doing next. So that's the end of my presentation. Thank you. I
Woo!
hope that was
I was gonna
okay.
say like
That was really great.
that was I think that is so helpful. You've really broken down a whole ecosystem of how to not just about investing, but just like how to feel good about yourself going through your seasons of life whilst you invest and build your incomes and how important it is. And I've thoroughly enjoyed your presentation.
Yay, good. I'm glad. I'm glad you enjoyed it.
I had like two questions of myself before I put in other people's questions. And one of them I think would be really helpful for anyone because Becky and I we've also sold a business in the past, but I'd like to hear your perspective since you've sold two now, is that did you always know that that was going to be an exit strategy, or did you, or like I know everyone knows that that would happen in one day, but did you know that with your rent to rent business that that was like that was always going to be the end goal and you were going to move on to your next thing, or did you want to keep that going?
Yeah, I think I always wanted to exit and sell at some point. I think I'm just a serial entrepreneur where I love building stuff. I love having the idea, building it, scaling it, solving all the problems, and then being like, right, I've done that now.
Yeah.
Next. But it's a good way of doing it because you can build real value through creating an asset, which is sellable, which you can then, you can then get a lump sum to then invest in the next thing.
I agree. Yeah, I agree. I think especially if you have a very if you come from just a very entrepreneurial mind, you it the most exciting part is starting a
Yeah.
business, even if it feels unstable and you have no idea where it's going. And like you said, whether you have cash flow issues, the exciting bit is the creating bit from the beginning. And then personally for us, we got bored eventually and then had to sell. It was like no longer, it can get to a point where something is no longer fun.
Yeah. And then the person who's buying it goes, well, they've done all the hard work. They've
You sold a
built the hell
system.
out of this. They've done the failing, the trying, the systems, the automations, the team. I've now got a business in a box that is profitable. So yeah, there are plenty of people who want to buy your business.
And I have another question, which is when you on your point of selling, do you mainly you saying selling every single day, which is a good point. If you are selling a product or a service, you should be selling. As if you want to have sales, you should be selling. Do you personally sell through just your emails, or do you sell mainly every day on your social media?
So someone once said to me, like, how often do you want to get paid? Do you want to get paid daily? And everyone's like, yeah. It's like, well, sell daily then. And I think at the start you think, oh, I can't sell daily. Like people are going to think I'm just some really like bro marketing, buy my thing. But actually they don't see your stuff. Now online, people might see 1% of your stuff, which is really depressing. So I try and sell daily. Yeah, I've got an email list which I send out weekly emails. I'll sell more if I'm selling something or launching something. But yeah, I'll do cheeky sales in the stories. I'll do posts. I think it's important, to have a social media strategy and talk about what you've been up to and be relatable and be fun and be educational. But yeah, just think, how often do I want to get paid? Right, let's make it really easy to do it.
I think that's true. Like we follow Sophie on social media, and I see you put out stories and your posts, and I don't find like I know it makes me know exactly what you're selling, and if I'm not your customer, then I know that I can recommend someone else, and I think that's really important that like no one cares. No, like no one really cares how much you're selling on social media. If for anyone that is what rewatching is watching this, to just not be embarrassed to put yourself out there and just sell your product or sell your business because that person might not who's watching might not be for you, but they might know someone that you would benefit instead.
Yeah, and I'm excited to sell. Like at the moment, I'm selling tickets to my event in July, which is Business by the Beach. And I'm
Ah.
so excited for this event. I'm going bigger than ever. So I want everyone to see it and I want a buzz around it. And if you don't feel comfortable selling, then think, am I comfortable about my offer? Is it right? You need to know how good it's going to be for people to buy it. And
Hmm.
people will see that passion coming through, I think.
Yeah, I agree. I'm just going to go through my questions that I've got from people, which
Before you do,
is
I just want to add one little thing is just everything you've said is like a real affirmation for me personally because we're so motivated. If you're an entrepreneur, there's so much self-learning, right? And you read all the books and if there's a tip that I would say is rewatch this video over and over again, get in touch with Sophie, but especially rewatch this video and everything will fall into place. It's just a lot of moving cogs.
Mm.
But once you understand it and you familiarize yourself with it, it's not overwhelming anymore. Like before, for me, I was like, ETFs, like, how do I pick a stock and and like, do I do bonds? Like, what do I do? It's not actually like the more you listen and the more you learn, the more you watch this video, you're gonna be like, okay, that makes sense. So just basically keep rewatching, keep learning about it, and everything will start to fall into place.
I have a question for the why is it that why do people stay stuck even though they know what to do?
Is that like generally in business?
And just in general, like generally, yeah, like why do people stay stuck and like not and not even though like they learn and learn and learn, why do they not make the first move when it comes to investing?
Okay. So in terms of business first, I've just been at a 2-day event in Leeds, which was really fun. There were 300 people there. I was chatting to loads of people about their businesses, and lots of people, like so many people, said, so this is what I do, but I've done all these different courses and programs, and they're all telling me to do a high ticket offer, no, a low ticket offer, no, a membership, no, and they're getting all this direction. And this one woman was like, "Can I show you what I offer?" And she showed me this page. It had 12 offers on it. And I was like, "This is confusing for everyone. We don't know what you do. We don't know what you're selling. Pick one thing." So I think in business, just pick one thing. Everyone thinks, but then I can't sell to everyone. You don't need to sell to everyone. You just need to say, "I'm really good at this one thing. Come to me for this thing," and then sell it every day for a month. Then you will make money. And I think people get it's just too much noise, and that makes you do analysis paralysis, and you just don't know what step to take. Just go and sell your thing that you're really excited about selling. And there's lots we can talk about, like pricing and marketing and things, but just come up with an offer and try selling that for a month.
Can
Find
I
your people.
just to clarify for anyone listening that you're basically saying just stick with one thing and just follow through with it? just like
Yeah.
in simple to just follow through with it and see if you actually sell anything. And if it doesn't, then move on to the next thing instead of trying to dwell or do all of it in one go, do lots of multiple things in one go.
Yeah. And then in terms of getting stuck started investing, I think there's so many things. Like there's the patriarchy, there's confidence, there's lack of knowledge. But women are better investors than men. We get better results. We put more money back into our communities. That's why we all need to be investing. That's why I'm on a mission to get everyone investing. And it's just about being so empowered with the knowledge that you're like, right, okay, this is why I talk about index funds because they're really easy, they're really low risk, and you can pick the ones you like the look of. So it's just about going out there and being like, right, I'm going to find out about index funds, pick my platform, and go for it. You can start with a tenner. Start with a tenner, see how it goes. I met someone else at the event who said she's lost a lot of money because she was doing copy trading, which is where there's a very successful woman online who went, I make loads of money trading and you can too. Join my membership and I'll show you which trades to put in. So you join her membership. She then makes a commission from everyone that joins the trading platform, and then they all just lose money.
I'm pretty
But she
sure I saw
markets
this
it.
on the Manosphere. Have you watched that?
Yeah,
The Manosphere,
yeah,
and
yeah,
he does
yeah,
the
yeah,
same,
yeah,
that guy does the same
yeah.
thing. That's how
And
it
I
works.
was like, okay, I do trading, but I've learned how to do it. I don't copy anyone. So we really need to learn the skills ourselves. Don't be scared. Like if I can do it, you can do it. If someone can do it, you can do it. You just need to commit to learning to do it. So definitely learn how to invest. Get it in index funds and just go for it.
I think you can also automate it, right? So like it's just understand it, and then once you understand it, you don't have to think about it too much more, and
Yeah.
you don't need to overcomplicate anything.
I
Yeah.
have
Yeah. You
someone,
can set it up once, put some money in monthly, and it will grow.
who has said, should they clear their debt first before investing in anything?
I don't want to give financial advice, but I think it depends on the debt. So if you've got loads.
Theoretically, you can say theoretically.
Theoretically, allegedly, if you have loads of credit card debt, it's a pressure, isn't it? And it's a headspace and it's a financial stress. So I'd always try and get rid of that first. If you've got good debt, like you've leveraged it on a property, that's okay. If it's a high interest debt, I would get rid of that. So yeah, in short terms, yes.
Um, I've got one was like, how do you structure your how do I structure my money if my income as a freelancer isn't consistent?
Do what I said and get recurring income. So if you're a freelancer, I guess it depends what you do, but you can turn that into recurring income. You can definitely turn it into it. You could start a podcast, you could write for a magazine, you could have a look at all the different ideas in that slide that I put earlier. Because yeah, the feast and famine is hard. Starting your income from zero from every month is hard. So applying some of these things, growing your investment pot, put your prices up, start trying all these different things that I've mentioned, and it will all compound.
It's just trialing things, isn't it? And I think there's no, like I said, like I know you're not a financial advisor, but there's no right place. There's no right answer. Just
Mm.
keep trying different strategies. And if you are a freelancer listening to this, and maybe I think I would say you would look at which clients are giving you the most reoccurring, and that's probably a better place to start than focusing on other freelance jobs that are a lot more sporadic.
Yeah. Yeah, get people on retainers, sign them for different packages, come up with different
That's what I was
offers for
trying to say.
them. Yeah,
Retainer. I couldn't
yeah,
think
and
of the
it's
word.
so much easier to do business with current customers and previous customers than it is to acquire new customers. So see what you can do for those people as well.
Because that relationship is already built.
Mhm.
Um, Another thing that I wanted to mention, you brought it up earlier about kind of getting out there into your communities, and I want to say that how important that is to step outside of your comfort zone and just start meeting people and building those relationships. Oh, that was it when you said about the wildfire that had happened. But because you'd already built relationships around you and worked with people, people are more willing to go out their
Mm.
way for you in business and in life if you go out your way to help those people too and not really expecting anything back. And I think it really
Yeah.
does show and bring community together that when you are going through quite literally a disaster,
Mm.
they are more willing to put themselves out for you because you did the same for them. And I think that's a really uh, a, a big point to make, especially when it comes to business and business relationships.
Yeah, I actually did an email and a reel about this today that the online world is becoming so noisy
Mm.
and the shift of AI coming in. I think someone said that next year 50% of everything you see is AI. People are just using it all the time for content creation now, engaging with it. So people are trusting online a lot less. People want to get in rooms. In person is going to be absolutely huge, starting now, starting right now, and definitely in the future. So to be within a community like yours, to get into actual in-person events is how it's going to be, how business is going to be done in the future.
I agree. I think it's all going around. It's like turning around.
Yeah.
And then maybe one day it will go back into the virtual world, but then
Mm.
in a different way, and then back into real life. But we're all craving just connection.
Yeah, definitely.
How much cash should I realistically holding right now before I start investing?
That's a good question. So when you put your money in investments, it could, it could fluctuate. So you do want an emergency fund or a fun fund. And the general advice is to have like 3 to 6 months worth of expenses in a pot. So yeah, go for 3 to 6 months worth of that and put it in a high interest cash account.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with that. And I think also the lesson from when everyone experienced a pandemic, um, I'd it used to be more like three months, and I think people have realized that, you don't know how long you're going to be in a global crisis for. I think a lot more people now are just increasing that emergency fund, aren't they? But
Mhm.
that shouldn't stop. You can't keep increasing it and then not invest at all. So that's
Yeah,
also a caution you can get. Like also you still need to invest if you need to rely on the compounding.
yes.
What I find interesting is that we've learned about compounding in our 20s, but people still don't really know what that means. So
Mm.
we've brought it up on social media as well. People are going, what is compounding? And it still baffles me now, but maybe I am in an echo chamber where I think like, oh, everyone knows certain terms, but actually there's a lot of people that really don't understand how compounding works. So how did you learn about compounding and actually started putting it into momentum with your investing?
That's a good question. I think it was I think it was when I started trading because Forex trading is really good. You know, you can make 8 to 10% a month on that. So you can double your account every year. It's
How
kind of
did you find
advanced.
out about that?
So I met Lewis on a podcast. We were both invited onto a property podcast, and the host took us out for lunch. And this guy Lewis went, "Yeah, I'm a Forex trader." And I thought, that sounds very scammy and techie and nothing to do with me. But I kept him on my social media. And I noted he was about to do a charity hike up Snowdon for something. So I thought, oh, he's a good human. And then I just got to know him. Turns out he's one of the nicest people I've ever met. He's one of my best mates now. So I went to his trading masterclass, and that's where he started talking about compound interest. And I was like, my God, like anyone here can go and find a compound interest calculator. It will change your life. If you put in how much you've got right now, whether it's 100 quid or 10,000, and you can put in, say, you might add a bit each month from your paycheck, and then how much you think you might make every year, whether that's 8 to 10% in the stock market or 8 to 10% a month trading. What will I have in 10 years, 15 years? It will blow your mind.
Mm.
And yeah, that's how I got into trading. And now I'm one of his coaches.
I know, multiple streams of income.
I have
Exactly, yeah.
a bit of a spicy question because everyone here is a property person, and I think this will be the last question because I know I've asked you tons of questions now. Um, because yeah, we could go on and on about this. Yeah, if you want to ask any more questions, leave a comment or get in touch with Sophie. But my question is, which do you prefer, property investing or index funds?
Good
And
question.
sorry, just to pile on to that question, which one gives a better return in the long run?
I think with property, it's quite hard right now, isn't it? Because we've got the renters
Mm,
reform stuff coming in, which is panicking half the landlords and people. We've got the interest rates, we've got inflation, high tax on landlords. It's a bit of a horrible place right now. But you're never going to get the leverage you get in property with anything else. Putting down a small deposit and leveraging that 4 or 5 times, increasing your doing a BRR method where you can double the value of the property or more. There's not a lot of other investing strategies where you can leverage that much. So it's a great strategy. And you've got the active income and you've got the capital appreciation.
okay, so
But you've
property.
also
Okay.
got, but you've also got nightmare tenants, nightmare builders, bridging loans that go over. It's not an easy thing to do at all. Everyone I know in property has had their own nightmares and disasters. So you've got to be tough, resilient, have a great strategy to do it. This year I'm not investing in property, but next year I probably will be.
I love that you just said that and then was like, but I am gonna.
Yeah, I'm still in it. What strategy would you invest in next year? The one you had,
Um,
the one you grew was like a very proactive strategy. So
yeah.
yeah,
No,
I'm
I'm
interested.
not managing properties ever again.
We
Absolutely
all we
not.
all get there in the end. We're like
Yeah.
we're not.
But
Right.
if you want to build from a small place, which was me 5 years ago, you can't start buying. You have to start with a cash flow strategy. So my
Yeah.
cash flow strategy was rent to rent HMO, which I then built to be a huge asset to then sell to give me the lump sum. So yeah, you need to think about what your situation is now, what resources you have, what time you have to pick your strategy. But when we do invest next year, it will be flipping and BRRs and bigger projects like that.
Hmm.
That makes sense. I think that's a really good point to finish on actually, because depending on where you are in your life stage, you've already said this as well before about like choosing kind of the risk type for the investments you pick. Depends on where you're at in your journey and where you're at like in the stage of life.
But also, Becky and I also want to clarify that we also believe in not parking all your money in only one type of asset class. It's
Yeah.
really smart to diversify and spread your risk um, up over multiple asset classes to that really, really protects your wealth long term if you're trying to hold on to it for a long, long time. Yeah, don't that we quite loudly have said, there are a lot of property people in social media and then they only preach about just property, but you don't see the anything else underneath, but they're actually probably investing into other things.
Mhm.
But just be aware that you should
You don't have
spread.
to be a die-hard one
Yeah.
strategy person, one type of investment person. Yeah. Oh, well, thank you so much, Sophie. Anyone again, if you're listening, anyone who's listening, um, get in touch with Sophie and rewatch this video until it
We'll
all.
Thank you for having me.
we'll put her social media links down here, but she's the person to go to. She explains everything really well. She is a very, very good coach and teaching you step by step. So if you ever feel like you have a dumb question, like she will answer it. So don't feel embarrassed. She'll know what to do.
Thanks so
Oh,
much, Sophie.
thank you.
Bye.